when we went off the air from Canton at the Hall of Fame, where we're heard every single day on WHBC. And by the way, I felt like Howard Stern walking around that town. Number of people are like, we listen to you every day. Like, whoa, okay, this is amazing. We love Canton. We love our listeners in Canton, Ohio. And so long story short, we go off the air, and the word is that we're going to have a class of 20 going into the Hall of Fame in 2020. Still the same number of, one would say, regular Hall of Famers from just the pool of recent retirees, for the lack of a better phrase. Their eligibility is still on. Just 5 of those. 10 from the Veterans Committee, as opposed to the usual 2 or 1. 10. And then 3 contributors, as opposed to the usual 2 or 1. And 2 coaches. So there's a lot of opportunities for people who've been waiting for a very long time. And speaking of waiting for a very long time, this gives the Hall of Fame an opportunity to change the ceremony on Saturday. Because back in the day when Michael Irvin spoke at night, first time, he was the first guy back in 2007 to speak as the sun was going down, lights coming on. His speech was made that much more dramatic by the lights on in the stadium. And it put the light bulb over the heads of, I think, some people in the hall. And so I know for sure the television executives at the NFL Network, and I'm sure at ESPN, hey, it's a lot more dramatic when the lights are on and at night. But that was back in the day when going 15, 20 minutes was considered long.
Yes.
Now, if you go 15, 20 minutes, it's the shortest of the night. And so the way this is now going, and again, I say this fully aware that maybe you're sitting at home and this doesn't matter to you because you're watching on, hopefully, NFL Network. But in the stadium, the person who's now speaking last, whether it's Strahan a few years ago or Kurt Warner, our buddy, a couple years ago, Tony Gonzalez on Saturday is speaking to a near empty stadium. To call it half empty is optimistic. Yep. Okay? So they're speaking to an empty stadium. People are filing out, and you can't blame him because Tony Gonzalez started his speech Saturday night 10 minutes after 11 o'clock at night.
It's crazy.
It's a very long, late night. He spoke, by the way, his speech was the longest in the history of the Hall, almost 40 minutes. So if we're not going to limit how long the speeches are, you got to start the evening earlier. Had they started at 5 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock, then Tony Gonzalez would have started speaking a little bit after 9. And everybody there, all of the Hall of Famers, want to either go to sleep, I mean, because you got some guys who are 70 plus, some 80, or they want to go out and celebrate. Tony Gonzalez didn't get to his party and the rest of the guys until 12:31 in the morning. So it doesn't work for really much anybody that's in the stadium. And I say this as a true lover and friend, right? When you say to a friend like you, tell it to me straight. Right? When I say, you say
honest.
your best friends.
Be honest.
I'm telling it to my friends at the Hall straight.
Yes.
It works for nobody in the stadium. The speeches are amazing. Tony Gonzalez is amazing. It shouldn't be done in front of like his family and friends and whichever stragglers are still remaining. So you started earlier, and next year they got to do something with 20 people going in. Berman, when we saw him at Ed Reed's party on Friday night, said it should be like the Democratic debates. 10 one night, 10 another night. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you split it up over 2 nights, but if you do, just start it earlier. Start it earlier. Just back in the day, it worked. And then at some point you put, if you will, the people that you think are the most popular, put them on late so it is under the lights. And then we're all out of there by 10. And people go to their parties or people go home. People can drive. I mean, people are driving. They don't want to spend money for an extra hotel room. My 2 cents. I love you, Hall of Famers. Love them. The people at Canton were amazing again. I want to say that. But I got to tell, I always shoot everyone straight.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.